It was originally a fuel operation. There was a gas station. Then there was a string of other problems with the site. And so it was a day then, and I believe it was 2003, there was a knock on my door and there was a TV camera and a TV reporter and with a microphone. He said, what do you think about what's going on down the street? And I said, what's going on down the street? And I looked out and there were SUVs and uniformed officers swarming over the site, and there was part of a ring of people that were bringing in pseudoephedrine from Canada for the meth trade. And then the ownership was taken over by the U.S. Marshals. They did seize the site, and we had called the next day to the U.S. Attorney's Office to see whether there would be an opportunity to get community ownership of it. We had a ceremony here, and they turned the keys over to Southeast Uplift, and the property for the first time was owned by the community. The concept for Tabor Commons really grew out of the community meetings where we asked people, what would you like to see there? People did not want it to be a car-oriented site. They wanted to be a people-oriented site. And they also wanted to be a beautiful site where it would function well, provide environmental education value. KPFF has been crucial for us, and I think part of it clearly is all of the innovative stormwater work that's been done on the site.
So what attracted me to the project was the fact that I could do with my own hands what I do in the office all day. I draw it on the computer. This is what it's going to look like, but somebody else builds it. This was my first opportunity, besides my own backyard rain garden, to do something, design the plans, and then actually participate in it getting constructed. Through that process, working more and more, I learned that Café au Play was going to be the tenant.
I presented at one of the first meetings about this idea of creating a family-oriented coffee shop. And there was a lot of positive response to that.
The neighborhood got into a partnership then with Café au Play. They needed a site, we needed somebody, a nonprofit that had that community vision.
That's kind of the primary mission of Café au Play, is providing that space for families to get to know one another and create support systems. And it's not like a typical coffee shop because it's loud in a really good way and there's toys all over the floor.
The original master plan concept that Oasis and Greenworks helped put together had kind of what we have today. So with that concept in mind, we looked at what we liked out of that concept. We brought in another landscape architect, Eric Schreiner, who just lives up the street, and he helped us to meet that, but with the funds we had. Tabor Commons has a bunch of sustainable stormwater features here. We had an eco roof on our kiosk out front. Then we put another eco roof on our garbage shed. We also have the permeable paver parking lot. So all of the runoff that falls on the parking lot just infiltrates into the ground. It's cool looking too. We used the different color pavers to do the stripes, so there's no paint on it. And so it really works well as a flexible space. So in the summer when we have the farmer's market, we'll close that off and it becomes kids riding their bikes and more farmers' tents.
In terms of having the stormwater development on the site, what I've seen is created this natural playground for children. So you will see them climbing along the basalt rocks and then jumping into the rain garden and just kind of exploring.
Another big part of the original master plan concept was to bring stormwater from 57th Avenue into the site and into a rain garden. So we'd be taking stormwater from off-site into the site. This whole part of the city is combined sewer, so there's only one pipe in the street. Every bit of stormwater you can divert from the combined sewer is one less gallon of water that needs to be treated at the sewage treatment plant. We like that idea and we wanted to include it in the landscaping, but we built the creek instead of along the north property line, we put it along the 57th Avenue property line. And we just, instead of in a concrete retaining wall, we just dug it into the hillside. So it was a lot cheaper, it's just moving earth around. Just doing this somewhat unconventional, bringing stormwater from the public right away on site, has only been done on a couple other projects in the city. I had to meet with the city closely on a lot of not only the grant funded projects, but just some of the details, getting this approved.
KPFF has been incredible because they have given us all their skills and they've been continually supporting us, not only in terms of the stormwater system, but now they have kind of a stake in Café au Play.
There have been other the things that KPFF has done that are benefit nonprofits in the community. But this is kind of unique, actually doing the construction, laying the permeable pavers. You know, we did the 2,600 square feet of permeable pavers in one day with several KPFF employees that I made come along. But
KPFF's involvement has allowed us to do some things with the site that are much more advanced than we could have done. Now it's become this very complex and very innovative public-private partnership that's filtering stormwater and educating the community about what stormwater is, what it does, and how it affects all of us.
the goal of sustainable stormwater is to do what would happen naturally, but do it in a way that fits with the development that you have. So carve out a part of the site that's the low part of your site that stormwater can drain to, make that a rain garden, plant it appropriately, and let the water drain in the ground. Having
the stormwater system here lends itself to children learning, about stormwater development at such a young age, that they're just naturally creating a more and more green environment because it's a part of them. It's what they have learned from the time they were beginning to walk.